More vaccines were allocated to the department, this time for the population over 60 years old.
Good evening, Lisa, and all the TV viewers and all those who connect with us this hours in the evening with Teleislas News. Well, the news vaccine are assigned to the department. Specifically, there is 1,578 doses of the biological of Sinovac. This is after the allocation that the ministry ordered through the resolution 572 of 2021 of May 1st. These vaccines are for the population over 60 years in the archipelago. And let's remember, and it's very important for you to remember, that to access this vaccine, you have to do it through scheduling. You have to call to your IPS and assign the date so you can go to the points them and get the vaccine, and so we're going to avoid a lot of agglomeration in at the island. These vaccines are for the population, again, over 60 years. The distribution of the vaccines correspond to the batch of 1 million doses of CoronaVac that arrived at the country at May 1st. The norm, this decree will come out, also established that the island territory has a population of 7,645 people between the ages of 60 and 79. To which 2,067 doses had been assigned already, leaving 5,578 adults pending to cover. Likewise, the resolution issue established that as of April 30, the archipelago department had a compliance of 106.7%, a lot of expectation around this plan of vaccine, and was the second territorial entity in the development of the national vaccination plan. They're going ahead with this vaccine, clarifying that as of April 24, 7,453 biologicals has been assigned, and as of April 30, compliance was 7,952 inoculated people. That means that we're going very good in the numbers of vaccines that are going to assign to our department this year. It is very important to all the people who have access to this vaccine we're coming, who know members is through scheduling. This is all information I report from here from the Coral Palace. Continue, Lisa, in studio.
And in the auditorium of the Chamber of Commerce was held a workshop on tourism and economic reactivation. This workshop was supported by 10 entities of the island that seeks to strengthen this important economic sector of the archipelago.
Representatives of different sectors of the tourism industry, such as the inn operators and nautical instructors, participated in the workshop Touristic and Economic Reactivation, which seeks to educate people engaged in this type of activities and learn about new tourism trends and regulations that are imposed at this time because of the pandemic of COVID-19. The Secretary of Tourism, Jonathan Taylor, was one of the speakers during the discussion. He spoke about the importance of developing such activity.
Hoy estamos participando de este importante espacio.
Today we are participating in this important space promoted by the Colombian Commission of the Oceans. The main guilds of the tourism sector are also participating. We have an important presence, the Navy, and they are discussing issues of reactivation as before, and where we are aiming and including the relevant issues of COVID-19. We were discussing important topics and studying how things have been, the carrying capacity, and what infrastructure measures we should implement to conserve our beaches, which is one of our main tourist attractions.
Also at the event, Vice Admiral Francisco Real stressed the importance of establishing a model of maritime governance for the management of the island beaches.
De la Dirección General Marítima, lo que ha hecho en la mañana de hoy es presentar.
What the General Maritime Directorate has accomplished this morning is to present a proposal for a model of maritime governance applied in Colombia for tourist beaches. And what this model means that a state institution from its national, regional, and local capacities has to become an articulating link with the other institutions at the national, regional, and local level. At that regional level is where comes that part of coastal management, where all the actors meet, reconcile differences, and know the differences of their beaches and their maritime zone from the natural to the risks.
The authorities indicated that they hope that this type of event can be replicated month after month for the benefit of the entire island community.
And in the morning hours, a fire completely consumed the home of 2 families in the Barrack sector. The fire destroyed everything in its path.
Into ashes, this house turned where 2 families live. Maria del Mar Rosales, her 4 children and her husband, and Nashira Nelson and her 8-year-old daughter. These are 2 families that lost everything after the fire this morning.
At 7 o'clock, the power went out and came on about half an hour later, and we went to bed to sleep again. Then we felt a fire. We only felt that the mattresses were on fire, and we only managed to take the girls and the 6-month-old baby and headed out.
Well, we just have an incident a few hours ago. Here I went live here with my companion Maria. Well, we lose everything, but in the Lord we trust we get back everything probably soon. Well, she went lose everything before me because when lost everything when the hurricane passed, and when they here they try to get back everything together, and with the help of the Lord and the community, they come around and they help with a lot this morning, and they wait for more help because we really need it with everything what happened today.
Feeling the heat of the fire in their dwelling while they are asleep, Maria Elmar and her husband jump out of their beds to save the lives of their children. Maria Elmar was a victim of the Hurricane Iota, where she had already lost most of her belongings and was just recovering when Nashira agreed to help her by giving her a space in her house where she could shelter with her children. Now their situation has become even more difficult because by a miracle they were left with what they were wearing. These families are asking for help from people in solidarity.
Clothes for us. There are 3 females and a 6-month-old baby. My daughters and I need clothes. My husband and I need clothes. We have nothing. We came out like this.
The Secretary of Social Development was present at the site and said that his department will do everything possible to help the affected families.
As soon as we learned of this unfortunate fact, the first thing was to make presence at the place to evaluate the situation. We see that there have been many losses, but thank God, material losses. We will follow up on the whole issue of psychological support for the children because we see that the girls were in shock. We are going to coordinate efforts for aid, food, and follow-up so that these people have a place to spend these 2 days.
Again, the Union of Public Employees of SENA raised their voice in support of the national strike in the interior of the country. This time, the workers of the institution at the regional level stopped their activities and closed the facilities. According to the president of SINDESENA, it will be all day.
Hello Lisa, good afternoon. We are here in the SENA, the regional San Andres SENA, where they are being carried out a strike during the whole day today. The SINDESENA, the syndicate for the public workers of this institution, are carrying out this strike, and well, precisely we are right here with Shane Brackman, she the president of the SINDESENA. Shane, please tell us what is the reason of this strike?
Okay, good morning to you all. We have a lot of reasons, but the principal reason is that we are here standing that the government with the rest of section of the country, the rest of organization try to get to a negotiation that be benefit to all the public and all the institute and all the different section of the country. Why? Because we don't know, say, this reform is nothing in benefit of the Colombian worker and the public institute workers, them, no? So what we want, and we understanding that say the leaders of the strike them nationally, the Comando Nacional de Paro, well, are citing today with the president that they must have a work today, and well, we're trying to see if that will be something favorable to what we pretend. The first principal object is pretend that they abolish this reform, but if it will not get that possibility, the idea is that to hear all the propositions them that the net sectors them of the country have, and it come to be something in benefit of the all Colombian of the country.
Okay, well, these are the reasons why the SINDESENA carrying out the strike, and well, Teleislas News will be aware of the following up of this news. Sylvette Mitchell, Archibald, informed for Teleislas News.
Thank you, Sylvette. And in order to commemorate International Bird Month, Carolina is conducting bird watching activities with 11th grade students of the island. The person in charge of fauna and the information system of Carolina Seaflower Biosphere Reserve explained what it is all about.
El deseo es que en este mes se conmemore.
Our wish is that this month we can commemorate birds, especially migratory birds, but also considering the commemoration of birds from an international level, knowing that the Biosphere Reserve is an important area for the conservation of birds, or ICAS, declared in 2004. In the framework of all these actions, both of the reserve and the activities of the students, we want to carry out the different bird sightings.
The biologist also commented on some of the birds that were sighted at the Old Point Mangrove Swamp.
Pues pudimos observar tanto especies.
We were able to observe endemic species such as the Vireo caribeus, as well as restricted range species such as the white-headed pigeon, which is in a restricted range in the Caribbean, and also many species of herons and sandpipers, that is shorebirds.
Other species cited were the banana bird, hummingbirds, warblers, seed eaters, old man birds, which shows that here was a great bird activity in the place thanks to the conservation of the mangrove. On the other hand, it is important to mention that Carolina will be meeting with ANATO on May the 28th for a talk with the aim of encouraging the conservation of birds as a potential for tourism on the island.